very much so. Yep. All right.
Where are you located? Where are you guys calling from?
So we are actually Minnesota. So
Okay. Yep.
we have Minnesota and Wisconsin agents actually on here. So yes, in your neck of the woods.
Not
Um,
far.
no, no. I'm going to get this started. I know we have several people kind of jumping in here, but good morning. Good morning to all the NRG agents out there. Thank you for taking time to join us today. I just want to, every Tuesday we're trying to bring value to this group. And so I've been following Kelly on Facebook and watching her journey. And I was like, we got to get her on here. She's got really good energy. She's got really good ideas. Um, when I see her posts and her different things, it makes me start thinking about how I can do things better. And so I wanted to make sure that we got her in front of you guys to talk about her story and what she's doing in change. And she's gone through quite a bit of that. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Kelly. If everybody could kind of, as I say, if you have any questions, maybe save those to the end. But we're going to let her kind of share her story and how she's overcome a few obstacles and then go from there. So, Miss Kelly, tell us about yourself and give us the lowdown.
Yeah, so my name is Kelly Northley. I have been in real estate for about 5 years now. I started on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, which is much warmer than where I'm at. If you can see out my window, we have snow on the here, but it's the weather. But I ended up doing really well when I first started in 2019. I think that's right. Um, I got with an investor, and long story short-ish, I had been in car sales, and he met me and bought a car from me, and he was like, "You need to be in real estate. You in real estate." I was like, "No, I belong in real estate. I love car sales. Loved car sales. Very high energy, very fun, depending where you're at." And eventually I called him and I was like, I need to be selling homes. I need to be selling homes. And so he helps me get my start in real estate. And it turns out he was a big investor. And so he helped me by doing my first deal with him. I started, in February, and I sold my first deal by March. So it went off really well. I think I sold like 25 houses my first year, which is good for some, bad for others, whatever. But I thought it was really great, and it was a really amazing start to my career. I very quickly realized I wanted to become a broker, got my broker's license, and opened up my own property management company and brokerage as well. The same year I had my son. Would not recommend doing all of that in 1 year, but we did it. We made it. So ended up doing very well. I sold a lot using social media. Obviously, I had an investor that I was working with, and that was great, but I used social media quite a bit to really jumpstart my career there. I knew no one on the Gulf Coast. We weren't from there. My husband was active duty military. And so used social media, grew. Things came to play last year that just lined up. Like, how, I don't know, he has a way of working in a plan, and so many things lined up that my husband and I just looked at each other and we were like, it's either now or never if we move. And so we decided to move, uproot, sell my company, sell our home, sell our land, and everything that we had built in that time period, and move back to my hometown of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I didn't know what real estate looked for me here. I had no idea. It's daunting to start over. It's scary. And so I took a little bit of time off just because kids and daycare, we couldn't find daycare. And finally this summer, things came together again, and we found childcare, and I was able to get back at real estate full time. And I used what I learned in Mississippi by going on social media. But then I also remembered how involved I was with small businesses there. And I decided to take that up a notch here. And I started a podcast that just very quickly booked into February now. And I have been booked out for weeks, probably a month now. So I started a local podcast to really get my name out there and get me into buildings, into meeting new people, like-minded people, business owners, homeowners. And that has just taken off, and it's been really great. And I've formulated a whole system around doing that. And yesterday, and this is just like an example of reaping the benefits of what you're doing. I called someone who reached out to me. He saw a video I made about his company relating to fireplaces. If anyone saw the video, I made a video stating that I had no idea how to use my fireplace. I've never used one. We didn't need one in Mississippi. And so it got a good bit of views, and I tagged the company, and he reached out and said he wanted to work with me. So I called him yesterday, and he would like to invest in real estate. He owns a construction company that I just passed, actually. Owns a construction company, wants to get in flips, needs a realtor, has not been able to find someone that's been able to help him. And so he's looking to do that. And then he also may want me to help him do some videos for social. So it's definitely like a long-term play, something that's going to be fruitful continuously and not just, sporadically as some things are in real estate. I've done it before. I know that this is successful. Everybody's seen a lot of things happening to get me there. But that's the general story. That's what I'm doing. Very, very heavy on social media and really just trying to make a splash and make a difference in the community. The podcast is actually a lead generator for me. But it's something that I truly enjoy doing. So that's what I'm doing. And that's a little bit of my story and how I got here. So,
Kelly, could you maybe go into a little bit more details about moving to a new community, and how you basically were like, I'm going to start this podcast, and how you talk to business owners then on how to get in with them?
Yeah. So it's really hard to move to a new community. Like, this is my hometown. I grew up here, and that's got like baggage of its own, right? Right. Like, it just does. But it was really hard, and I had no idea where to start because there's so many places to start. And so what I wanted to do was just to get out there and add value to the community. So before I did the podcast, I started doing just short form videos of me going to a place and experiencing. So for example, a coffee shop, I would message them and say, hey, I just want to do some short form videos for you. But I would make sure they knew what I was doing. So I wasn't just going in there and filming them. I don't like that. So I would message them and make it formal. Hey, I'm a content creator and a real estate agent. I want to come in and feature your business. And then I would ask them to share that. So I use that as a way to get my foot in the door, right? I'm going in there, I'm adding value. I'm not charging them for this. I'm paying for my coffee or my experience. And then from there, I'm asking them to share the video. That's all I asked. I didn't need them to compensate me. I didn't need them to pay for my coffee, nothing. But I did want them to share the video. And so that's sphere hacking. That helps their people see my stuff, my people see their stuff. But it also gives me an excuse to go there, right? Because it's weird to just walk into a room and say, hey, I'm in real estate. Do you want to sell your house? Right? It doesn't flow as nicely. It just doesn't. But if you go in and you add value and you genuinely want to help their business, people are so willing to do that and work with you. And of course, share your video and help you as well. So I used it as a foot in the door and just a way to get in there. And then I just made that content around it. But if you're not wanting to make content, there's so many different ways. I mean, you can do mailers, you can do, get in contact with your sphere, but I really like using the content as an excuse to get out there.
So would you say that you started with like your things that you're doing every day? So you said coffee.
Yes. And I actually did that in Mississippi. It's almost the exact thing that I did. In Mississippi, I didn't have an office of my own. In real estate, you have to earn an office or buy one, realistically. And so I didn't have my own office. And so I went to a coffee shop, on a regular basis. And we would go there and I would take a picture of my coffee. I would mention I'm at Dolce Cafe. I'm having a coffee, and would just, again, do the same concept, just a little bit less work, just a more subtle version of it. Whereas this is, yes, me going to a coffee shop, me going to a spa, me going to a restaurant, all things that I'm typically doing for the most part, grabbing lunch or something with a friend, but I'm just taking videos of it and then using that to feature them. The biggest difference is instead of just going there and continuing about my day and ordering the coffee and taking a video, I'm making it known what I'm doing. I'm getting their permission. They know who I am and why I'm there and what I'm doing. Also, they know I'm a regular there because I get my coffee all the time. Although I have crappy homemade coffee this morning. But it's just adding that extra like professionalism and saying, hey, I'm doing this. Is this okay? And then they know that and then they share that on their socials, which helps you.
Okay. What would you say about like the algorithm? How are you kind of cracking that? Because everybody has their own way of doing things with the algorithm.
So I look at when is the best time to post. I use an app and a software called Metricool, which a lot of you are probably familiar with.
I'm gonna back you up there. Probably not. We better
No?
go down
Okay.
that path. Probably not.
Okay.
No.
That's okay. So this Metricool, the back end of it is very similar to the Meta Suite. If you use that, it just has um, more to it. It's a little bit more robust, very inexpensive, by the way. I don't know the price offhand, but it's pretty cheap. If not, you can use just the Meta Suite, and that in itself is pretty user friendly and easy to navigate. Again, happy to help if you have any questions. But you look at the best time to post. Facebook will literally tell you what time you should be posting. So I use a combination of what time I should be posting and then just kind of experimenting with how the videos go. I found the come with me videos tend to go a little bit better for my audience versus just like videos with music and me walking through places. So just playing with and seeing, I would say maybe get like a month of content and then go back, look at the content that performed well, and then tweak the ones that performed well and replicate those. But yes, you want
Okay.
to be at your metrics. I stalk my metrics every single day. So I'm always trying to grow.
So that you built that into your routine as far
Yep.
as it's almost in a way like time blocking time to go like need to focus on my metrics because that is going to get me to the next level
I
with social
focus
media.
on my metrics and I spend at least 1 hour a day engaging on social media. And some people may argue and say that's a lot of time. But if you look at what you should be doing for lead generation, you should be spending more time than that, probably. Social media is my lead generation tool. I'm not doing cold calls, I'm doing social media. So I go and I engage with my audience. And I have it all because I'm a freak like this, but I have it all built into an SOP, like all of the things that I need to be doing on a weekly and daily basis to ensure that I continue to grow locally specifically. And then of course I'm growing with other agents, but you should be going, and again, I can help in any way if people are interested, but you should be going in as your page and you should be posting these videos. And then when people like the videos, you invite them to follow your page. And there are so many like just small steps that really, really help you on social media.
I think that's probably the biggest question. And I mean, right now, we've got 29 agents in here in this group. We're recording it for our brokerage. But I
Yep.
would say the number one question that I've gotten and why I'm pulling people in here for social media is because of the fact that nobody knows where to start. And
Um,
that's the biggest thing. So give us a little bit more tips on that. And
I came up with a flyer. It's like it's free. I don't know why I have balloons.
I know I'm like
Um,
balloons.
we're celebrating. But I came up with a one-sheeter of 10 tips that you can do to like very basic tips that a lot of people overlook, like connecting your business page with your personal page and making sure that that's where you work. But if anyone wants that, I would say to message me on Facebook with your name and your email, and I can send it to you. It'll just take me a little bit to get it to you. But overall, I would say just you have to go in and audit your page, see what you're doing, make sure people know that you're a real estate agent. A lot of people fail in that aspect. A lot of people don't want to post about real estate on their personal page, and I get that, but you have to have something. Like, you just have to. Otherwise, you're being a secret agent. What are some common, I wish I had that sheet pulled up, but a couple of common things that I see people doing and forgetting is that first one where I said you should have your business page connected to your personal page. Pretty simple to do. It just says like you work at, and then Kelly Northley Real Estate, or however you have yours set up. Mine is just the Kelly Northley. Another one is engaging every day. Huge, huge. If you're posting and you're not engaging, you have lost so much. You've lost so much momentum. Getting active in groups, specifically local groups. You're looking to be the go-to real estate agent, right? I don't suggest that you go into your local groups and say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I want to help you buy or sell. People don't like that. People don't like that. They do like when you go in the group and you add value. So I came from a military city. And so people are always moving. And the first thing that women ask when they get in these groups is, who do I go to for my hair, my nails, my makeup, eyelashes? And so I would just answer that and say, hey, this is who I use. This is who I use. And your name comes up in that group more, which just builds your value. And then when people ask for a real estate agent, I promise you, people are creeping your profile. They know what you do for a living. They do. Which leads me to another good point. Pin a post to your personal profile and your business profile stating who you are, what you do, and the area you serve. Another big loss that some people have on their pages. They don't say who they are, where they serve. I know so many real estate agents, and I can go to their page and see that they're in real estate, but I have no idea where. Not a clue. So that would be another suggestion.
When you're searching for those groups, are you looking for like let's just say for instance like mom groups? Are you looking for, where would you start by?
I look for anything that's relevant to me. So I would say start by searching your city. So mine is Fond du Lac. I would go to Facebook, excuse me, and I would search Fond du Lac and then go to groups. And I would just see what comes up. A lot of them are like what to eat, what to drink, nightlife, things like that. Join those, but then go further down and find like the mom group. If you're a mom, hop in there. Some of them have like, this is very, very niche, but vegetarians of Wisconsin or something. Like, I don't eat meat. It's a place that I can go in and add value. Again, this is if you're looking to make social media your lead generation tool. You have to think of these things as lead generation tools and things that you can do.
Okay, so Kelly, I just screen shared so everybody can kind of see. This is your Facebook page, and this is your business page, not your personal one. So let's just kind of scroll down here for a second and take a look at this. So basically, what you're kind of saying is like this intro area.
Yep.
So what would you say, if like a real estate agent who has never done any of these social media things? First thing would be like just looking at it from a blank slate. So do the intro.
Yep.
Make sure your information
in your intro, and I apologize, I'm on my phone still, but on your intro, it should say the areas that you serve, that you're in real estate, and maybe sprinkle in like your hobbies or things that you enjoy. Like, you're a person too. You're not just a real estate agent, right? You're a mom, you're a wife, you like soccer, you like, I don't know, making cannolis on Fridays. I don't know. Put those things in there because people want to know you, not just as a real estate agent, but you as a person. That first post that you see, that's the featured post. That is the pinned post I was talking about. I'll probably be updating mine here soon, but it has where you can follow me at the bottom and exactly what I'm doing and who I am. And it also has a small business tag, which helps with my exposure.
Okay. So you just kind of gave yourself an intro in here. And you know, I'm huge, and I know these guys know on this call because I see it because I post to our NRG page. Emojis. You have to have something that's gonna, you know, stop people. So the emojis are big. But I do also like the fact that you did put in your versatile, you've got a link to your kellynorthley.com, you've got a YouTube, you've got your TikTok. Um, those are all really good highlights because some people aren't going to call you. Some people aren't even going to text you. They're going to click on these links because it's easier.
Yep.
Okay.
That and a huge thing that some people get frustrated with on socials. Social media is not an overnight thing. You're not going to post today and get a lead tomorrow. Could you? Yes, absolutely you could. But realistically, that's not going to happen. However, 90% of people are going to look at your page and do absolutely nothing with it. They're not going to like a post. They're not going to share a post. They're not going to comment on it, but they will call you in 9 months after they've been stalking you for 9 months and say, hey, I want to sell my house. It happens more often than you think. People don't want to interact, but they see it. So even if you're not getting a ton of engagement and interaction, obviously continue to watch that and see how you can improve, but do know that people are watching and it will come. It just takes a minute.
A little bit of time. Now, what do you prefer? What do you say between, because this is another confusing thing that we get a lot of. Do you do a post? Do you do a story or do you do a reel?
All of them. I slack on my stories. I need to get better at my stories. I would say you should post a reel as often as you can. They go over very well. I post the most videos on my TikTok. It's just like you can be yourself on TikTok. Facebook isn't always appropriate for all of the TikToks. We'll leave that there, but it's just a different beast. I will take and bring my TikToks over to reels, and I try and post daily-ish, not on Saturdays and Sundays. Realistically, I just don't. Those are my days. But I would say try to post a reel a day. If you can't post a reel a day, if that's not realistic, that's okay. Post a reel a week and gain and go from there. Posting, you should also be doing regularly. You do not have to post every day, but when you do post a value, post something that's either engaging, provokes a comment, or that people can relate to, learn from, things like that. That's
I'm just trying to scroll through, and if anybody wants to follow Kelly, I'm like, go follow her on whatever platform that you do. It definitely helps. But no, there's such valuable content in here. The one thing I wanted to also do, because this is something that you sparked my interest about, the 12 days of Christmas giveaway. I'm going to go back up to the top here. Tell me about that and why you decided to do that, because I think that's something that agents could do.
Yeah. So I got the idea from a client of mine. I do social media marketing for agents and small businesses. It's just come hand in hand with me posting and whatnot. And so one of my clients and I were discussing ideas, and we talked about doing a giveaway, and she was like, well, this is what I want to do. And I had an idea and she had an idea. We took it, we put it together. I built a whole SOP for it. And then I shared it with other agents because I had so much interest in it after posting in a couple of groups. But essentially the 12 days of giveaways for me personally, I'm trying to gain my follower count. You do not need to have a ton of followers to make an impact. And I will repeat that all day, every day. You could have 100 followers, but if they're the right followers, you're doing well. I'm looking to grow to a larger number purely for the podcast I'm doing. That is the only reason I'm looking to monetize it. And that's a whole different thing. So when you see me posting trying to gain followers, it's for a different reason, but you can make a difference without. But the 12 days of giveaways helps me to grow another business's social media because I'm adding value. I'm saying, hey, I'm going to give you this $25, $50, $75 gift card. All you have to do is like this person's page and like my page. And then I think they have to comment. And then I did an additional entry for another promotion if they signed up for my emails. So I'm getting a lot of marketing tools just in that giveaway. Plus, my page is getting more exposure, my page is getting more likes, and the other business is getting more likes, and it's all local because in my 12 days of giveaway posts, you'll see that you have to pick up or get the gift in person, which brings value to that business by someone physically going to their business. And either if they've never been there, they get to experience it, see it, learn about it, or they get to just come back in and have that opportunity to be a customer again. So very valuable. Plus I'm doing a video for most of the businesses as well. But it's great exposure because it's helping you. You're adding value to another business. Yes, they're donating $25 to $50, but they're getting people who are local to them to like their page. And that is exactly what they're looking for. And then again, you're building your sphere hacking and you're getting more exposure and more people in your area, which really just adds to your sphere of influence.
So truthfully, what you could do, because we're a little bit, we're the 5th of December. What you could do is maybe look at doing a giveaway just to get it started, like once a month. Not having to do Christmas.
Yep. It depends on how you structure it. A lot of people who did not do the 12 days of giveaways for December, I would suggest to do one in January. Do a similar concept, maybe do 7 days of giving or something in January, because it's a shift, right? January is a new year, new you. Focus on that and say, hey, I'm just trying to make a little splash. I'm trying to help. Do a different giveaway and focus it for the new year. I wouldn't suggest doing 12 days of giveaways every month or anything, but doing a giveaway here and there, and especially when it's one that adds value to the other business, because you don't want to pay for all of the stuff realistically. I mean, I'm a budgeter. I like to not have to pay for everything. So having them donate that, they're getting something in return, and that helps. But yes, you could do a periodic giveaway, or you could restructure the 12 days of giveaways for Christmas into like the new year, or maybe February, 12 days of love or something, and have it like Valentine's themed. There's a bunch of different ways you could implement it for sure.
Okay. Thank you for talking about that, because that was something that definitely stood out. I'm gonna be real honest. I wanted to do it. I had started doing some graphics around it in Canva, and then life happened, and I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna have to put this on another idea."
It is a ton of work. I committed to doing a video for each of these businesses too. So that's 12 videos I'm also doing. And again, I have a different avenue that I'm trying to grow for. So there's more reasons than one. But it is a lot of work. So
Yes,
but
that's where I'm like, maybe start out a little bit smaller,
yeah,
and work
5
your way up
days,
into it.
3 days,
Yeah,
7. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Anything else that you could, give us before we kind of open the floor up? Any other things that you think social media, just again with new people starting, that are just honestly really scared to even do anything, like
Yeah.
tips for like just doing a video to put yourself out there. So
Sorry, it went into
that's
safe
okay.
driving mode and I'm not driving. So I would say just start posting, and I understand that that is so much easier said than done, but you can't learn and grow and improve if you don't post. If social media is an avenue that you're looking to explore, I'm going to be quite honest, your first couple of videos are not going to be great. The first couple of podcasts that I did, I butchered the intro. I didn't even introduce one of the guest speakers on it, and I'll never live that down. I had to re-record over it. But it's your first stuff is not going to be great, but you can't improve if you don't start. Stick to a plan, something that's realistic. If it's 3 times a week that you know for sure you can stick to, do 3 times a week and then grow it from there. See how it works. You can also schedule out your posts, but I would say overall, just start and make sure you're not going on and spewing out real estate, real estate, real estate. People want to get to know you. They want to know who you are, what you do. So you can use anything as content. If you're going to a coffee shop in the morning and you're getting coffee, make a post that says, on my way to do some showing, stopped at so-and-so coffee shop and got my favorite caramel cappuccino or whatever it is that you got. And just do that. Leave it just as simple as that. So you can add in pictures of your family and what you did. Like in this picture that you've got pulled up, we went to a Christmas tree farm. I tagged the Christmas tree farm. I tagged the company my husband and son are wearing. Again, both local, sphere hacking. And then, of course, I'm talking about how I'm getting out and supporting a local business by doing something we were going to do anyway. So anything can be content, and people love this stuff. That I think that ended up getting like 12 or 1400 views or something. So it's good content. It's working.
And that's the other thing is just, yeah, people don't want to just 100% see what you're doing for business. They
Yep.
do, like, they want to engage with you. It's kind of how I say, like, that's why they're working with you.
Yep.
You know, they like you for who you are. Yeah, definitely. What else, I guess, would you say tips and tricks, you know, just again to get out of that your shell and just try it? Because I know it was scary when I first started too, but now it's very natural for me.
Yep.
And I don't really care, you know, like anymore about like if somebody says something bad or, you know, I kind of look past that now.
Yep. You have nothing to lose by posting. As long as you're posting and you're being respectful, there's nothing that you have to lose. And the worst thing that someone could say about you, what are you going to do with that? Right? If someone looks at your post and says, wow, that's a crappy post, they look horrible, they're speaking funny, where are they coming from to have to say those negative things? So don't focus on that. And I know it's so hard. It's so hard, but do not focus on that. Focus on just what you are trying to do, your vision, and how you're trying to uplift and help others, and go with that. Don't listen to what other people say. And like I said, just get out there and start posting.
Perfect. I'm going to stop screen sharing. Does anybody have any questions for Kelly as long as we have her on here?
Kelly, you used the acronym SOP. I did a separate SOP for that. You want to define that? People won't know what that means.
Yes, I believe it's systems and procedures, something in procedures, systems, orders, procedures. I should know that off the top of my head, but I don't. But basically it's this, excuse me, it's standard operating procedures. Glad I worked through that. Been a while. I use it so often that, you know, you just don't think about it, but it's basically everything I do for my content is spelt out. Like it is on Wednesdays, we're posting, guess where I am, excuse me, at 9 a.m. A story goes out. At noon, we have this post go out. And then I go as far as to document exactly what steps I do to create the post, where I go to do it. And I do that because I have a micro team that helps me with all of this, but also so that I'm duplicating it and treating each person that I feature the same, just like I have an SOP or a standard operating procedure for listings and for buyers and sellers and all of that, to make sure that I'm duplicating the process and repeating it the same each time.
I'm going to call somebody out here that's in this group right now, and she's not going to know. Janelle Lake, are you available to unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Janelle, I'm going to call you out on this right now, but it's going to help you, I promise. What is one thing that you are struggling with social media? Because I know you're new to trying to get through social media and trying to get more. So what's one thing that you could ask Kelly that you think would help you?
I think in creating content ideas, I know different people have said write down 10 things like Kelly just mentioned, which is great. And I watch different people post, and you know, they do have such seemingly creative ideas that I know you just have to start. But sometimes I struggle with, like, going to the coffee shop, that's a great idea because I have a local coffee shop in Monaga that I always frequent. But thinking of things of what, what I could, maybe it's the fear of not knowing what could actually pique people's interests.
Yep. I think that goes back to just posting. You don't know what they're going to be interested in. You don't know what your followers are going to want to see or what's going to resonate with them until you post. So start with that coffee post maybe and say, hey, stopped at the coffee shop you mentioned and got my regular loved saying hi to Sarah and Karen, who I've known because they work there and I go every Tuesday or whatever it may be. Just writing up a short blurb and take a picture of your coffee and then see what people say or what people comment or if anyone reacts or not to it. And then either change it the next time you go to do it or duplicate it the next time you go to do it if it works well.
Sure. Thank you.
Yep. And just
Janelle, I am watching you on your social media. So, and you are doing a good job because I will say you've been doing videos. So that's why I kind of called you out on that because I know you're trying to get started on it. So I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to add, sometimes when I do post, I like to post my activity because my community I live in is very small. I think Monaga area has about 3,000 people. So, and then the surrounding probably is double, triple that. So I try reach upwards to 10,000. But I did find when I was coming into it, I've only been doing it for a couple of years as well. But people don't know I used to be a massage therapist and that's what I've been known for. But now I want them to know, hey, I do real estate. So even the little putting in a pending sign or posting something. So then I think, and one thing I need to do, which I do need to create a business page. I have not done that. And that is my next goal because I have been piggybacking on my personal. So I know that's a no-no, and that is my 2024 goal. So, that's where I'm going to go.
Kelly, I think I had interrupted you, so I'm going to let you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as far as content ideas, you can literally take what you're doing on a daily basis, like write down maybe once, excuse me, write down like what your day looks like, and then take from that what you can share about that. Again, we start with the coffee. Typically, real estate agents have a cup of coffee or an energy drink in their hand. It is what it is. After that, what are you doing? Are you going to a listing appointment? Are you going to show a buyer a home? Take a picture of that. Out showing homes with my buyers. Take a picture, and this is just a silly thing, but it's something that comes up when you're looking at new construction homes. You're not wearing the $200 shoes, or maybe you are, but they're boots, right? You're wearing nice boots. You're not wearing heels or whatever. Like, hey, take a look at these super dirty hunter boots. This is what I show homes in because this is what you've got to wear. People don't realize that. Post an outfit of the day if you want. People love to see things like that. If you have a boutique that you got some items at, tag the boutique. Things like when you're wrapping up for the day and you're sitting in the car line, again, it depends on who you are and what you do, but you're sitting in the car line waiting to pick your kid up from school and you're sitting on your iPad writing a deal, right? Take a picture of that. Thankful I can multitask as a parent, and I get to write a deal in my car right before I pick my daughter up for school. Take those things and post them. That is what people want to see. I had a post and it happens to just stick out in my mind. 2-3 years ago, I was in a new build subdivision and I was showing homes and it was just one of those crazy days. And I drive a Tahoe and my husband told me I didn't need one because it's too big. And I took a picture of me in my Tahoe and I had everything sprawled out. That was my mobile office. And I was like, and my husband said I didn't need this, right? And I had so many comments of people being like, clearly you do. You've got your laptop, you've got your bag, you've got the kid stuff, excuse me, all of the things. But that stuff, like that's just being authentic. That's who you are. Those are the things that you're dealing with. We all have husbands who say we don't need things, right? You know, or wives, spouses, whatever. Just taking that and bringing it to be relatable and posting about that. So it can be anything. It just, you don't know until you just start posting. And it's always the ideas that you doubt the most that you finally get out onto social media that go over the best too. So
There is a couple questions in the chat here that I'm going to ask. What do you need to do video reels? Do you use your cell phone? What kind of equipment do you use?
Yep, I purely use my cell phone. I have an iPhone 13 or 14. I should probably know that. But I have one of the new iPhones and I use that religiously. It is the easiest thing to make content on. And then I use Lightroom for editing. I use CapCut for editing. Adobe sometimes I'll use, but those are primarily what I use, or of course, Instagram and TikTok, Facebook, things like that. But yes, iPhone. I will add when I do the podcast, I have an on-the-go microphone kit by Rode. That's super helpful, and that just helps to get better audio, but you do not need that. You can, but you do not need it. Just be mindful of your audio when you're recording, though.
The other questions we had in here, I posted on my business page, but not a single response. What would you say to that?
I would ask, and feel free to message me after this and send me your business page and I can chat with you about it if you want. But I would ask, have you invited people to like your page? Do people know your page exists? Have you tied your page to your personal page? And what did you post that got nothing? Those would be my questions. What are you posting? Who's looking at your page? Who knows about your page? And you could go from there. Don't be discouraged by that. That happens. Even some of my posts get, a few views every once in a while. So don't be discouraged, just continue and see what works. But those would be the questions I'd have.
Okay. I'm gonna call out Marge because I know she's got a couple, she's always got a lot of ideas. And she's not just doing real estate, she's doing multiple businesses, which I absolutely love. Marge, what's one of the things that you have a question on social media? Because I know you've been intrigued about talking about social media.
I don't have a question as much as a statement of one thing that everyone here can do. And I feel like maybe I need to do a screen share or something, but like on this screen, there's only five of us that are on view. And I always have a backdrop that I can change at will, which is up in the right-hand corner, I think, is where I'm trying to think where it was that you could find and change that background so that you've got, I mean, maybe some of you are only on this Zoom meeting, but if you're on multiple Zoom meetings and you can have your NRG a picture with your logo and stuff, and like Kelly said, just to brand yourself, because like all of your things with the shops, you have your logo and your name in the corner of each one. You might want to put that on the screen again, but I mean, that's really effective because it's keeping it in mind, top of mind. I don't do a good job with real estate because I'm always saying I'm leaving and then I don't because it's so hard to leave, right? And I really like it, but so I'm not good about posting with real estate, but yeah, I'm doing Facebook ads and stuff for my business. And it's a lot of, it is a lot of figuring out, and a lot of, like you said, Kelly, it's constant, like just posting makes such a difference. And I'm terrible about it. I mean, I'm not consistent at all, except doing the ads instead of just posting.
Yep.
And so it really doesn't take much time. If we could even do a group thing where commit to 3 times and show up next week and show your posts or something so that we do it. Because it's the push, right, Kelly? I mean, because you see success, then you do it more, but otherwise it's like, oh, I don't like the way I look, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And you don't even have to show yourself.
You don't have to show yourself. You just have to be consistent. And I think a lot of people fail on social media as they fail in real estate, unfortunately, because you don't see the fruits of your labor for 3 to 6 plus months. And I've seen it with the agents that I've trained. I have one agent, well, a couple agents that I trained in Mississippi, one of which was right around the 6-month mark, and she posted consistently. She was doing the mailer, she was doing all of the things. And right around 6 months, she was like, man, what do I do? I've not gotten a deal. And after that, since then, she's been $1 million producing agent monthly. So, I mean, she did something right, right? It just, you have to be consistent. You have to stick with it. And you just won't see the rewards instantly. So there's also
And
that.
I think you're what you said before, that emphasis, even if you're not posting, if you're interacting
Yep.
and actively seeking out people, like I have 900 Facebook friends and I see probably 3%,
Yep.
maybe.
Mhm.
And so if it's not in the algorithm, it's like you have to actively seek those people out, see what they're up to, you know, comment on their posts so that they actually notice, um, so that they actually get in your stream again.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I have a quick question on videos, but first I want to say, you know, thanks for sharing your time and your ideas today. It's been really helpful. So do you do like voiceovers on video, or do you want the audio to match up, or do you come back later and do that at all? Or how does, I mean, what's the best way to get that to match up?
Yeah. So I guess it depends on what type of video that you're doing. The come with me to like an experience, or like come with me to get a coffee from wherever, or come with me to like a little farmer's one that I did, which is just a caramel apple farm place. I record the videos and then I do the voiceover afterwards. So I'm not recording voice while I'm there. If I'm sitting down and doing a podcast, then I'm doing the audio at the same time, and my editing team will take care of tweaking and matching that up if need be. It does start and it does go in line with the video, so that helps. But it just depends on the type of video that you're doing, where you add the voice. If you do a voiceover, I would use CapCut has been the easiest for me. But you can just add the video, or excuse me, the voice afterwards, and it's relatively easy to do once you've done it a few times.
If you're gonna add like audio afterwards, would you want to make sure that you're not talking during the video? So like your mouth is not moving to the audio, or?
Again, depends on the type of video that you're doing. I'm not typically in the come with me to go to a place videos. Like you'll just see the video of the place. If I'm in it, I would probably want the audio to match up as best as I could. So that would be an issue. But you could have yourself in it, you know, with your hand in front of the video and your arm and whatnot. Or you could have someone record you and then just match that up for those pieces. But when I go back and do voiceovers, I turn the original audio off. So even if you do have like your mouth is moving and you're doing different words, it should mesh. You just kind of have to play with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I just signed up. I just got on CapCut this week. Like I use Canva religiously, but I was really impressed with CapCut, but I'm not sure. I have only posted one thing from there. I'm not sure where the, when do you start getting charged? Are you paying for CapCut, or is it the freebie version?
I do not pay for CapCut. Nope.
So how do they get their, I mean, what's the monetization for them? Do you know?
So they have their logo in anything that's not shared directly from the app to TikTok, and they typically have the hashtag CapCut. But if you share it, like you save it to your phone, you have at the end, you have a little CapCut plug, I guess you could call it.
And cut, whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought that was really that's a really good one for not wanting to say much and just show where you are and write it out. It's like there's so many creative things to just take from and go, well.
Yep. And you can drag and drop. They have templates, so it makes it nice and easy. It's just a matter of getting the content originally.
Is there any other questions out there for Kelly while we have her on here in reference to social media or her podcast or anything along that lines?
I just want you, is Janelle, I want you to have Kelly and Janelle's in the Facebook page, the ones to follow and look at as examples would be good. Thanks, Kelly.
Nope.
There is a question in the chat. What platform has produced the most response? It popped up and then it went away. Give me 1 second.
I get the most from Facebook still. I have since I got into real estate. Facebook has been the most productive platform for me. I will say TikTok is starting to creep up on that. I get a lot of engagement, a lot of comments, starting to get messages and followers from TikTok coming into like other places. I don't love Instagram. I post on it. You won't see me engage as much. I have the most followers on Instagram across the board, but I just don't like it as much personally. Everyone is different, but the most of my business comes directly from Facebook.
Now, Kelly, would you say, because this is another mistake that I've seen people do, is where they think that they have to be on all the platforms, and then they all they're doing is focusing on that, and they're not really focusing on what they should be. What's your thoughts around that?
So I have two thoughts on that. A, you can use a scheduling system that allows you to post on several platforms at the same time. So you can do that. That makes your life easier if you feel that you want to be on all of them. But I would recommend taking one and focusing more on it. I post on TikTok, I post on LinkedIn, I post on Instagram, and all of pretty much everything. But Facebook is where I spend the most time. It's where I spend the most time engaging. It's where I spend the most time commenting, posting, getting in groups and things. And so that's just the one that I took and ran with. And a lot of people in social media would say the same. Find one and run with that. You can post, like I said, you can find something that you can schedule multiple places, but I would say pick one that you're seeing the most interaction and the most come from, and focus on that. Someone just asked how much I spend on ads a month. I would say no more than $50. I actually did my first ad in probably 2 years. Last week, I spent $50, and I probably won't do it again. I get the most organically. And I have done ads in the past. I've never enjoyed doing ads. I am thinking about doing that as an add-on for the podcast for people doing that, just to get more exposure. But it's not something that I've seen a lot of success with personally. Some people have, some people haven't. I just get a ton organically, and I'm trying to really focus on that. So I don't spend much for ads.
Perfect. First off, I want to thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. Again, I follow you. You know, I comment on all your stuff because I know that helps, as well as liking, commenting. You know, that's pushing up the algorithm. So anybody who comes into, you know, that I know, even like Janelle, me calling her out today, I have her, and I am commenting and liking and doing all of her stuff because I want to see people succeed with social media. It can be very intimidating. And I wanted that wealth of knowledge. So if anybody's not following Kelly, please go do that. Reach out to her with questions. The goal is not to reinvent the wheel, but like use our thoughts together. Your podcast, I know you just came out with it. I knew you had a couple of hiccups, but I was like, hey, you gotta fall a few times to fall forward. So I thought that was amazing. So next week, you guys, on our huddle, we are focusing on our goals for 2024. So we have our core 4 goals for 2024 is what it's called. So we actually have a life, business, health coach coming on. So I'm pretty excited about that. Looks like Jeff said, you know, thanks, Kelly. Great ideas. We're going to keep bringing content. We will probably have Kelly back on here because, again, she's amazing at what she does. So, all right, Miss Kelly, thank you so much for your help. Everybody go out there, do something amazing, be great people, and spread some joy. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Yep, thank you.